When you've been hurt by someone you once considered a close friend, remember this. You don't owe them a lengthy explanation or a dramatic showdown. The smartest move is to simply move on. It's not about getting even or demanding apologies. It's about protecting your peace. You might find yourself in a situation where this person comes back, asking for your help. Trust me, a firm no is all you need. You're not obligated to lend a hand to someone who's broken your trust. Let time reveal the consequences of their actions. Keep it real. You don't have to keep people in your life who disrespect you. It's about choosing your mental health and growth over unnecessary drama. Like Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. Don't stoop to their level. That's the real deal. Number 2. Unnecessary goals. Life's journey often requires us to make crucial decisions, act deliberately, and remain faithful to our authentic selves. In this process, it's vital to recognize when certain goals no longer serve our true purpose. Letting go of these goals is not only normal but necessary, as it allows us to focus on what truly matters. As you navigate through these changes, do so subtly, ensuring that your actions align with your core values and identity. Make these adjustments quietly, adapting as situations unfold, always valuing the power of privacy in your strategic life choices. This approach not only simplifies your path, but also maintains the integrity of your personal journey. In the words of Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, it is not that we have so little time, but that we lose so much. The life we receive is not short, but we make it so. Number 3. Oversharing the end of relationships. When navigating the end of a friendship or romantic relationship, maintaining discretion about intimate details is paramount. Sharing specifics about conflicts or reasons for a breakup not only disrespects the privacy shared between you and the other individual, but also fuels unnecessary gossip, making the situation further. Instead, it's more beneficial to internalize and reflect on these experiences. This practice not only honors the privacy of both parties, also facilitates a more profound personal healing process. Instead of seeking external outlets, engage in self-dialogue to understand and process these feelings. This approach ensures that any problematic relationship is resolved with dignity without making it a subject of public discourse. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Number 4. Raising your voice in front of others. During periods of frustration or anger, imagine you're in a heated meeting, your heart pounding with frustration. We've all been there, haven't we? In those moments, the temptation to let our anger loose is immense. But what if, instead, we choose to speak softly, to harness that fiery energy, not in shouts, but in steady, calm words? This is not just about keeping face. It's a journey toward mastering our inner storms. Think back to a time when you witnessed someone lose their cool. How did it make you feel? Uncomfortable? Perhaps even disappointed? Now picture someone who, despite the chaos, remained serene. Their voice a soothing balm in a sea of noise. That's the person we all aspire to be, isn't it? It's in these trials, these tests of our spirit, that we find our true strength, transforming anger into action, frustration into focus. It's like an alchemy of the soul. It's not just about biting back angry words. It's about channeling that energy into something that moves us forward, that turns stumbling blocks into stepping stones. Heraclitus was onto something when he said, "To be even-minded is the greatest virtue." Number 5. Spreading negative opinions about others. Think about the last time you heard someone bad-mouthing another person. Didn't it make you wonder what they say when you're not around? Spreading negative opinions about others is a slippery slope. It's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, but those words, once out, stick to you like shadows, casting a dark light on your character. It's more than just being diplomatic. It's about being the kind of person others trust and respect. You don't have to like everyone, but remember, every person you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Now picture this. You're faced with a challenging person or situation. It's tempting to let your judgments fly, isn't it? But here's the catch. In that moment, you have the power to shift the narrative. Choose empathy over disdain, conversation over conflict. It's tough, no doubt. You'll feel everything from frustration to compassion, maybe even a hint of admiration for their tenacity. This approach isn't just about keeping the peace. It's about understanding the complex tapestry of human emotions and interactions. Number 6. Constantly comparing yourself to others. The relentless chase of comparing ourselves to others is like running on a treadmill with no off switch. It's exhausting, unending, and, frankly, a thief of joy. Think about it. Every time you glance sideways, tallying up someone else's milestones against your own, you're not just selling yourself short. You're completely missing the beauty of your unique story. This habit, this compulsion to measure up, often leaves us feeling like we're perpetually lagging behind, chaining us to a cycle of self-doubt and dissatisfaction. Now flip the script. What if you start celebrating your quirks, your missteps, your victories, no matter how small? It's not about ignoring the world around you, but about embracing your journey, raw and unfiltered. Your story, with its ups and downs, its triumphs and setbacks, is a testament to your resilience and individuality. So dive into your own narrative. Let it be a spectrum of emotions, from the grit of frustration to the high of achievements. Uniquely yours. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, control your perceptions, direct your actions properly, and willingly accept what's outside your control. Number 7. Mindless use of social media. Consider your life as a unique narrative, full of rich experiences and personal growth. Social media, in contrast, is a vast repository of everyone else's stories, often only their best moments. This disparity can lead to unfair comparisons and a sense of dissatisfaction with our own lives. It's vital, therefore, to approach social media with intention, using it for specific purposes, such as seeking inspiration, connections, or information, and then stepping back into the reality of our own journey. To achieve this, try scheduling specific times for social media use, like during morning coffee or after work, to avoid its constant intrusion. Before each interaction online, pause to ask, is this constructive or am I mindlessly scrolling? This practice, though simple, can prevent the mindless consumption of content, enabling you to reclaim hours of your day for activities that genuinely fulfill you. The Stoic philosopher Seneca reminded us of the importance of managing our time wisely. Not that we have so little time, but that we lose so much. 8. Dwelling on the past. The past can serve as a teacher, providing valuable lessons that shape who we are today. However, dwelling on it excessively can trap us in a loop of regret, preventing us from fully embracing the present. Imagine a hiker constantly looking back over his shoulder. He stumbles and misses the beauty of the trail ahead. In the same way, when we fixate on past mistakes or lost opportunities, we hinder our ability to move forward. Instead, acknowledge these moments as part of your journey, extract the lessons, and then release them. As Marcus Aurelius put it, reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears. 9. Seeking validation from others. Consider a sculptor working on a masterpiece. If he were to stop every few minutes, seeking validation from onlookers, he'd likely lose his creative flow. Similarly, when we constantly seek approval from others, we lose touch with our true selves, molding our identity based on others' opinions. This habit erodes our self-confidence, making us overly dependent on external praise to feel worthy. Instead, cultivate self-validation by setting personal goals and measuring your progress against them. As Epictetus wisely noted, seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourselves. By internalizing this Stoic principle, we build resilience and self-assurance, allowing us to stand firm in our beliefs and choices, regardless of others' opinions. 10. Living in constant fear of the future. The fear of the unknown often grips us, paralyzing us from taking risks or pursuing our dreams. This fear is rooted in our desire for control over things beyond our influence. However, by worrying about future uncertainties, we miss the opportunities that lie in the present. Instead of fearing the unknown, embrace it as a part of life's adventure. The Stoics believe that true freedom lies in accepting the things we cannot change and focusing on what we can. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, do not let the future disturb you, for you will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. 11. Resisting change in the pursuit of comfort. Change can be unsettling, but growth thrives in discomfort. Many of us resist change, clinging to familiarity because it feels safe. However, staying in our comfort zone keeps us stagnant, hindering progress and self-discovery. To truly live, we must embrace the unknown, taking risks and welcoming the lessons change brings. As Seneca put it, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. We've explored 11 things to cut out quietly, each a reminder of the Stoic values we strive to embody: resilience, inner peace, and self-control. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Each step is a powerful choice toward a life of freedom, balance, and fulfillment. If you're committed to transforming your life with Stoic principles, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to keep growing with us. Imagine you are the most powerful person in the world. You have millions of people under your command, and you can do whatever you want. But you also face constant threats, wars, diseases, and betrayals. How would you cope with such a life? This was the reality of Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who lived almost 2,000 years ago. He was also a follower of Stoicism, ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live well in any situation. Stoicism helps us focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. In this video, we will explore how you can apply Stoicism to your daily life and how it can make you happier and more resilient. What is the most important thing in life? Is it money, fame, power, or happiness? For the Stoics, a school of ancient philosophers, the answer was simple. It was virtue. Virtue means living according to reason and nature and doing what is right and good. But how can we achieve virtue in a world full of distractions, temptations, and troubles? The Stoics had a core principle that guided them. Focus on your own actions and thoughts instead of worrying about what others do or what happens around you. This principle may sound simple, but it is not easy to follow. It requires constant self-awareness, self-discipline, and self-improvement. It also requires courage, wisdom, justice, and moderation. These are the 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism, and they help us to act rationally and morally in any situation. One of the most famous Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, could have easily been overwhelmed by his responsibilities and problems or corrupted by his power and wealth. But he did not let that happen. He practiced Stoicism every day by writing in his journal, meditating on his principles, and applying them to his actions. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He also wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." He understood that he could not control everything that happened around him, but he could control how he reacted to them. He focused on what he could do, not on what he could not do. He focused on what was in his power, not on what was outside his power. How do you know what you can control and what you can't? Stoicism gives us a simple rule. You can control your own actions and attitudes, but you can't control other people's actions or natural events. For example, you can't control the weather, but you can control how you dress for it. You can't control what someone says to you, but you can control how you respond to them. Why is this distinction important? Because it frees you from wasting your energy and emotions on things that are beyond your reach. Instead of getting angry, frustrated, or anxious about things you can't change, you can focus on improving yourself and your choices. This leads to a peaceful mind and a happier life. How do you start your day? Do you check your phone, watch the news, or rush to get ready? These habits can make you feel anxious and distracted. Instead, try this. Before you do anything else, take a moment to reflect on what you want to achieve and how you'll react to challenges. This will help you set your intentions and prepare your mind for the day ahead. The Stoics also practiced mindfulness. Being mindful means paying attention to what you're doing and why you're doing it. It also means being aware of your emotions and thoughts without letting them control you. Throughout the day, try to stay present and attentive to your actions, making sure they align with your values. For example, if you value honesty, don't lie or cheat. If you value kindness, don't be rude or mean. By being mindful, you'll avoid regret and guilt and feel more satisfied with yourself. Marcus Aurelius was a great emperor who faced many challenges. He had to deal with wars, plagues, and betrayals from his own family, but he never gave up or lost his calm. He followed Stoicism, a way of thinking that helped him focus on his own actions and accept what he couldn't control. You can learn from Marcus and become more resilient too. Stoicism teaches you to see things as they are, not as you wish they were. It helps you to deal with stress, anger, and fear. It shows you how to live in harmony with yourself and others. How can you practice Stoicism every day? Let's find out. One of the best ways to learn from Stoicism is to reflect on your day. Every night, before you go to sleep, ask yourself these questions. What did I do well today? What did I do poorly? How can I improve tomorrow? This will help you identify your strengths and weaknesses and make a plan to grow as a person. Stoicism is not a quick fix, but a lifelong journey. You can't expect to master it in a day or even a year. You have to keep practicing it every day, in every situation. Remember what Marcus Aurelius said, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing." You have to be ready to face challenges and overcome them with courage and wisdom. You have learned a lot about Stoicism and how it can help you focus on yourself and cope with challenges. But how can you make it a part of your daily life? Let's recap the main points and see how you can practice them every day. Number 1. Remember that Stoicism is based on the idea that you can only control your own thoughts, actions, and reactions. Everything else is outside your control and not worth worrying about. This can free you from anxiety, anger, and frustration. Number 2. Practice self-focus by paying attention to your inner state and aligning it with reason and virtue. Don't let external events or other people's opinions disturb your peace of mind. Instead, focus on what you can do to improve yourself and contribute to the common good. Number 3. Develop resilience by facing difficulties with courage and wisdom. Learn from the example of Marcus Aurelius, who faced many hardships as an emperor but never lost his calm and dignity. He used his journal to reflect on his challenges and remind himself of Stoic principles. Finally, engage in reflective exercises to review your day and assess your progress. Every evening, ask yourself what you did well, what you did wrong, and what you can do better. This will help you grow as a person and as a Stoic. By following these steps, you can embrace Stoicism as a way of life and enjoy its benefits, just like Marcus Aurelius. With a little practice each day, you can learn to focus on yourself and live a life full of peace and resilience. Fellow Stoics, we're trying something new and exciting. The topic of our next video on Stoicism will be chosen by you. Here's how it works. Drop a comment below with a Stoicism topic or question you'd love to see covered. Browse through the suggestions and give a thumbs up to the ones you find interesting. The comment with the most likes will be the focus of our next video. This is your chance to guide our journey into Stoicism. Can't wait to see your suggestions and dive deep into the topic you choose. Now that you have learned some Stoic principles and how to practice them daily, it's time to challenge yourself. Don't just watch this and forget about it. Put it into action every day. Try to focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. See how it changes your mood, your relationships, and your life. This is not easy, but it is worth it. And remember, you are not alone in this journey. You have the wisdom of the Stoics to guide you and the example of Marcus Aurelius to inspire you. He was a man who faced many challenges but never lost his calm and his virtue. He wrote in his meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You should check the new video that is appearing on the screen now. Until next time, I hope you will find strength in these words and in yourself. Thank you very much for watching.
Stoicism is more than just a philosophy, it's a way of life that has guided people through some of history's most difficult challenges. Today, we'll explore 5 powerful stories where Stoicism and philosophical wisdom helped individuals overcome adversity and emerge stronger than ever. Let's dive in. Number 1. James Stockdale, a prisoner of war's resolve. In 1965, American Navy pilot James Stockdale was shot down over North Vietnam and captured. He spent over 7 grueling years as a prisoner of war, enduring torture, isolation, and harsh conditions. But Stockdale had a secret weapon: Stoic philosophy. Drawing from the teachings of Epictetus, he accepted his circumstances without despair and focused on what he could control, his thoughts and his responses. He even devised communication codes to boost the morale of his fellow prisoners, and taps on the wall to share messages of hope and resilience. Stockdale believed in accepting reality as it is while never surrendering to hopelessness. His story shows how inner freedom and self-discipline can sustain a person even when everything else is taken away. Number 2. Viktor Frankl, Finding Meaning in Suffering. The horrors of Nazi concentration camps pushed Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, to the very limits of human endurance. Amidst unimaginable suffering, Frankl observed that those who could find meaning, even in the smallest things, were more likely to survive. He chose to focus on his inner life, finding purpose in helping his fellow prisoners, imagining a future beyond the camps, and recalling his love for his wife. After the war, Frankl founded logotherapy, a psychological approach based on the idea that finding meaning is the primary driver of human life. His story is a testament to the idea that, even when faced with the worst circumstances, we still have the power to choose our response. Frankl's words remind us that life holds potential meaning under any conditions, even the most miserable ones. Number 3. Seneca, Facing Exile with Grace. Seneca, a Roman philosopher and statesman, was no stranger to adversity. When Emperor Claudius exiled him to the island of Corsica, many thought his career was over. Seneca saw this as a chance to practice the Stoicism he preached. Instead of lamenting his fate, he devoted time to writing, self-reflection, and philosophical study. He realized that while he couldn't control his external circumstances, he could control his response to them. Seneca's writings from this period encourage us to find peace within ourselves, regardless of what happens in the outside world. His message is clear: true freedom lies not in avoiding difficulties but in facing them with calm acceptance. Number 4. Nelson Mandela, Patience and Forgiveness in Imprisonment. Nelson Mandela's 27-year imprisonment for resisting apartheid might have broken many, but not him. Instead of being consumed by hatred for his oppressors, Mandela used the time to cultivate patience and inner strength. He understood that bitterness would only enslave him further, so he prepared himself mentally for a future of reconciliation, not revenge. When released, Mandela played a crucial role in leading South Africa through a peaceful transition to democracy. His ability to forgive and seek unity rather than division turned his personal ordeal into a transformative experience for an entire nation. Mandela's story shows that even the most oppressive conditions can't shackle the power of the human spirit. Number 5. Epictetus, Overcoming Physical Limitations. Epictetus was born a slave in ancient Rome and lived with a physical disability that left him with a permanent limp. Yet, he did not see himself as a victim. Instead, Epictetus embraced his situation and used his hardships to strengthen his character. He taught that while we might not control our circumstances, we always have control over our responses. This mindset allowed him to rise from slavery to become one of the most respected philosophers of his time. Epictetus' teachings remind us that suffering is not an excuse for giving up but an opportunity for growth. By accepting adversity as part of life, we can turn even our most challenging moments into stepping stones for personal development. If you want to learn more about how Stoicism can change your life,